Moving on to our next bout this evening in the 135-pound division, amateur rules. Welcome into the blue corner, fighting out of Team Underground MMA. Welcome into the cage, Jack Clarke. And welcoming his opponent, fighting out of the red corner from Hohenfast Fight Gym. Welcome into the cage, John Parthaugen.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end of test. Okay, we checked all four systems and there you go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on Facebook Live here at the Cage Warriors Academy Southeast, number 23. Bantamweight action on deck. John Parthaugen in the red corner wearing the black shorts with grey trim, taking on the UK's Jack Clarke in the black with red trim. Referee Rich Mitchell about to get this one underway. 3 3-minute rounds in the Cage Warriors Academy Bantamweight division.
And we've seen John quite a few times in the Cage Warriors Southeast Academy, and he tends to be a gamer.
Yeah, a very aggressive start from both these guys. John Parthaugen taking the center of the cage here. Takes a body kick for his trouble zone.
Well, I mean, John's biggest thing is forward momentum. So we're going to see it throughout the entire fight. Anytime he has an opportunity to move forward, he will. Whereas some people stand back and try to fight at range, he doesn't. He just walks forward. And he has the best mustache in all of amateur MMA.
Certainly cannot be discounted, the power of the mustache. Nice wide base there from the Norwegian fighter. Able to defend against this takedown and ends up on top in the guard of Jack Clarke.
Now, one of the things as well is, and we're noting this more and more, especially today, is these young fighters are at least smart when they're on top. They're putting their hands in the right position and they're not continuing to put themselves in danger. And as I says that, he falls right into a triangle.
Yeah, Clarke looking to secure something here. He's going to spin out and try and take the back, and he does. Gets the one hook in. Looking to get that second hook and ride the back here, or perhaps just fire away from the back position with punches. He's got both hooks in now.
But it's good hand fighting, holding on the wrist. His head's turning the right way. I mean, Parthaugen's at least competent enough to stay out of danger.
Yeah, Parthaugen in a rough spot here in the first round. Momentum certainly shifted towards the English fighter as the rounds wore on with this back take. And Parthaugen now forced to fight the hands.
Now, he's smart with the body lock because he's at least positioning it to where he can keep the pressure on. John's got to move over and put that pressure on that heel and alleviate a little bit of that like pressure across his midland and allow him to actually take breaths. Now, if you notice, though, that body lock is so low, it doesn't actually put as much pressure on his breathing as you'd want, because you want to have it a little bit higher so that pressure kind of takes away the breathing.
Attacking the neck again is Jack Clarke after a few nice punches. He's not got that completely under the jaw. It's more of a face crush at the moment. We have seen guys tap from that, but Parthaugen continuing to fight the hands, and he's still in the fight.
And he's working to get his back towards the mat, so obviously he's done situationals in the gym because he's not freaking out at this point. And a lot of times with a lot of these young amateur fighters, they get into a position and you can tell that they're not training that position.
Clarke still trying to fish out the neck of the Norwegian fighter here. Parthaugen has come across the sea for this one, but there's a big contingent of Scandinavian fans. Parthaugen escapes, and they go wild in the stands here at Charter Hall. First round in the books, and what a back and forth 3 minutes that was, Nick. Jack Clarke finished strong, but Nick, talk us through some of the replays here. It was a strong start from the Norwegian fighter.
Now, he really, like I had said before, he's all about moving forward, so you'll never see him kind of retreat. This instance, it did prove detrimental because he put himself in a position where he was going to end up on the mat. And he doesn't want to be on the mat. He's a striker. He likes to stand at range and strike. The rest of the fight, from where we see right now, was him fighting out of positions. Whether it was he got into the bad triangle that you see, you're turning out of here, to where literally in 2 seconds he's going to give up his back and now spend the next minute and 30 seconds fighting to try to not get choked out.
And in these 3-round amateur fights, the time really is a bigger factor than what we see in the pros, because you're weighing that time. If it's a minute and a half, that's getting weighed a lot more heavily than it would in a 5-minute pro fight.
And you don't realize how short 3 minutes really is. These guys, you can blink and that minute and a half is gone.
Oh, we nearly had 2 referees in the cage for round 2.
That would have made for interesting calls.
Cage Warriors Academy, always innovating. Touch of gloves, and we're on the way for the second round.
Oh, nice outside leg kick.
Clarke's been throwing that right leg kick in the first round in a game to start off the second. Perhaps that's something he's seen an opening for.
I mean,
Parthaugen
Parthaugen
walking
tends
him
to
down,
stay really heavy on that lead leg to begin with, and it's because he likes to stand and strike.
It's a nice uppercut underneath the guard from Parthaugen there. And the Norwegian fighter again taking the center of the cage and barreling forward with combinations of strikes, big hooks, one to the body on the left side there. Great work mixing up the targets from Parthaugen, bullying his man against the cage here, Nick.
And if you notice what he's doing is he's going body, body, head, 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 body. And he's working the combinations to where even if he starts to hit the hands, he can sweep one underneath.
Links into the takedown as well. And a much more positive start from John Parthaugen here in the second frame.
Now with John Parthaugen, this could have been too full. Is, okay, I need a breather, which is actually good fight IQ. I just threw a ton of punches. Let's get the takedown. Let's get to a dominant position. And if he gets back up, that's fine. I can blast him again.
Clarke perhaps looking to elevate his man over here with those butterflies, but able to create a bit of distance, get back to his feet, but again under heavy fire here. Parthaugen wading in with these big shots, and he's got his man on the back foot.
And again, if you notice, he's going to the head, and then he'll sweep that one under the body.
Big, wide punches from Parthaugen, and the mouth of Jack Clarke is open. Again, he's just covering up here. Referee Rich Mitchell taking a close look at this one.
Now remember, in an amateur fight, if you're not defending yourself, even if you're taking them on the arms, they will stop a fight. So you've got to be moving, and you've got to defend yourself.
But how long can Parthaugen keep this salvo of offense up for? He's probably thrown about 20, 30 punches in this round already.
Well, he just takes a deep breath as he goes to reset. So let's see if he blew his wad. He shakes his hands out now.
That's probably the first time we've seen him move backwards in this contest.
I think this might be the first time I've ever seen him move backwards in any of his fights. Normally, if you throw a 50-punch combo, you expect, some sort of finish.
Parthaugen thinks he's playing Killer Instincts in there. Oh, takes a big right hand, and another. Jack Clarke throwing everything but the kitchen sink at his man.
And Clarke's taking a couple deep breaths.
Referee Rich Mitchell calling time there. And I believe he was just warning Clarke for throwing a knee to the head.
Yes.
At the end of that exchange. Knees to the head
Ooh.
aren't allowed under this unified amateur rule set. What a second round, Nick.
And what you saw at the very end of the round, what Clarke happened is he threw that outside leg kick that landed so well at the beginning, and for the first time, John actually checked it, and that caused Clarke to stop. Instantly stop. We'll go back to the replays, and if you look here, John's just... Now, this could be a little rope-a-dope, because if you look, Clarke didn't really take a lot of damage. His hands were up, he's protecting himself, and maybe it was, okay, I'll wear John out.
Well, it certainly appeared to be the case as that second round wore on, and more huge punches coming in from Parthaugen here, but it really was Clarke that ended this round on the front foot.
I mean, Clarke landed some phenomenal punches in the closing, 20 seconds of that fight, that you could see it backed Clarke up. He took a couple deep breaths, his hands were down around his waist, so instead of protecting his chin, he was kind of standing there like, okay.
That's a cliche, but it's a 3-round fight for a reason, and maybe we're going to see a situation here where it's not necessarily a battle of skills, but a battle of wills in this third round. And let's see if Jack Clarke has got the willpower and the gas in the tank to put the hammer down here in the third frame.
Yep. This will be do or die. This will be whether or not John actually wants to, if he can pull up and just say, I'm not tired, and just go out there and continue to throw that 20, 30 punch combo.
Coming forward like the Terminator here in the third round is Parthaugen. Taking a few shots of his own though. Nice jab there from Jack Clarke. Rock'em sock'em robots here in Colchester. Both guys trading shots. Clarke still on the back foot, circling away from the power hand.
Now John, though, you could tell that he's very scared of that outside leg kick, because as he's coming in, he's been check stepping every time he comes in. So those ones in the first and second that landed caused a bit of damage.
Clarke looking to get a grip on the neck here. He's going to step over into full mount. Let's see if he can create some distance and get some shots going. How much does Parthaugen have left to defend with? Clarke looking for a choke here. He's across the face, not under the jaw. Plenty of options though here, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things is, especially when you're sitting on somebody that way, you're not going to get the choke. So what you tend to do is you want to posture up and throw those punches.
Parthaugen's left his chin up there, and Clarke trying to get the short choke maybe. Looking to bury that arm deep underneath the chin of Parthaugen. He's looking for the big squeeze here. Parthaugen fighting for dear life. Clarke very, very close with this choke, Nick, but he's fought the hands.
And what
Parthaugen
Parthaugen
turn into his man.
Parthaugen was smart there is he slipped his head or his back to the mat, and that was able to get him free. Now he's going to have to move, because taking those unanswered punches right there, they will stop this fight as an amateur.
Clarke looking to posture up and get some leverage for those punches, and referee Rich Mitchell warning John Parthaugen that he's got to get out of there. A dramatic third round here as Clarke again looks to sink in the choke. Just over the jaw, going back to the punches. What an effort from John Parthaugen to stay in this fight, Nick.
Now, what's happening here is Clarke is kind of in a bad position with his back against the cage, because when you want that choke, you want to be able to stretch your neck out, like stretch your opponent's neck out. So John's at least smart with, okay, if I've got him here, I'm somewhat safe and I can play the hand game. Now he's gotten him broken down flat. This is where you really work that arm underneath and then just slide it straight up underneath the chin.
Time running out here, final 10 seconds. Clarke looking for a big finish, tries to sit up and throw bombs. He's not going to get the finish, but what a Herculean effort for the man who was on the back foot for the early part of this contest. It's going to be very interesting now to see how our judges score this one.
It was great to see Clarke come back from, and I mean, he didn't take a ton of damage, but what he did is he's covered up throughout the first and second, which was smart to do. And then come the third round, he just went, okay, how much do you really have left in your gas tank?
Yeah, you could almost see the gas tank of John Parthaugen draining in that second frame, and really did, especially at the end of that second round. Looks to be running on fumes, and that's what we saw in the third. Clarke able to come out and really put his footprint on this one.
You know, it really depends on how the judges scored that second round. I'm sure the first round went over to the red corner. Third round definitely went over to the blue corner. So it all kind of sits on what happened in the second round.
But either way, you know, both these young men are going to have a lot to take away from this contest. They're going to have a lot of footage to look back on in the gym on Monday morning. It'll certainly be a great learning experience for both these guys.
And I tell every single one of my guys when they get inside the cage, yeah, you didn't get paid by the hour, but the more time you can get in there, the more you can actually learn.
After 3 rounds, ladies and gents, we have your winner by unanimous decision. In the blue corner, Jack Clarke.